Evelyn can flank, and Sivir, she can peel for her own in the backline with added mobility, with spell shield, and she can survive.
Yes, indeed. We'll have to see how they do play it out. It'll be a little difficult to hold your horses when you got a Hecarim on your side, but we'll see, Crepo. Now, why don't you guys share with us what you think is going to happen this time around? Go ahead. Got a little bit too comfortable up in the top lane with Outgoes. We'll see how this starts. In comes Frederick. Whirlib jumping on him. Arcane smash. Will the pony get away, or will this be it? 8 spikes are flying. It's first blood, and Frederick is just out of range of the tower.
You will a little bit nice.
Just a little bit. Well, history's about to repeat itself right now as Whirlib and JWoww duking it out. Frederick comes in. Nice juke from JWoww, and he knows he's got some backup this time around. Dexter looking to chase on. They turn their attention to Whirlib. Frederick comes back, however. JWoww might have overstepped his bounds, and it looks like we'll see a jungler for top traded in that top lane. Meanwhile, Froggen is ignited. Peppy is gonna go for him, and he even misses the gravity field, and he gets away.
Deja.
Wow.
1,200, 1,300 gold in the lead, and we expect Peppy Nero getting engaged on.
That might get evened up for just a minute. They're gonna throw everything on him, the Chaos Storm. But Dexter will end up picking up that kill, and while Frederick was there, there really was nothing he could flail there. But you take a look at the way the fans think at least this game's going to go. That's a big favor for Giants. And speaking of, Peppy's gone in, but he's going to eat the Glacial Prison, and he might be regretting that decision as the Death Laser comes out. Teleport now. Froggen and Dexter on retreat as Frederick is running down the line. Whirlib follows him all the way to tower range, and Froggen is slain. Peppy picks him up. Dexter burning away. Will he fall afterwards? Frederick helps it out, and it ends up being a double for Peppy. Meanwhile, though, down goes Whirlib. The fight is going all sorts of crazy as Peppy is able to make his escape, but Godfred and Frederick might need a bit more backup here. And down goes Promiscue. Pepinero's back in the picture. JWoww isolated as there's no one left alive. This fight is going 100% Giants. Goodbye, and Frederick gets a kill.
Elements get baited left, right,
Yeah, and speaking of Pepinero, though, he did pick up a couple in that fight. Looks like he might do it again as Froggen gets jumped on. Frederick's the one who comes up with it, but meanwhile, a teleport from JWoww means Pepinero's going down. It's a 1-for-1 mid laner for mid, but Frederick is on the retreat. Smited down by the Hecarim. In comes the Onslaught of Shadows, and he's feared right back into Dexter, but he flashes into the red pit, and he'll make Giants Gaming to start up this Drake. No response so far from Elements. Looks like they're going to give this one up for free. So Giants grab a nice little bit for themselves in that one fell swoop.
Yeah, and similar to what I leave for the top lane.
Godfred, he could be in some trouble. Promiscue gets the double knockup. Whirlib knocked into the tower. JWoww now looking to hunt down Godfred, but Whirlib picks up Froggen, and let's see how this fight finishes without the mid laner Pepinero running amok, but he gets exhausted immediately. And it is a 1-for-1 with Godfred dropping. Giants Gaming still come out ahead, I would say, in that one. They keep on sieging.
As a support player, you gladly sacrifice your life if that means taking out the enemy mid lane and more essentially part of the wave clear. Karma doesn't have enough wave clear here, and Whirlib's going in.
Whirlib is going in. JWoww is going to get dropped in. Whirlib flashing at the last minute to avoid the living artillery. Promiscue goes down. Double kill over to Pepinero. Dexter flashing away, hopefully to safety, but no, he goes down. After the turret, they get a few more kills. That's a triple. Buff Dexter was the one who smited away, but he took a lot of damage in his health bar for that one. It has been a big fight over this game. Froggen, where did his health bar go? Promiscue now on the run. They've got him locked up. Meanwhile, Whirlib and Frederick are jumping in to an injured Element. There's the Chaos Storm. Godfred is the only one locked up by the Glacial Prison, and Pepinero is gonna carve himself up some beef. JWoww and Tabs on
alive, and it looks like they're trying to pick up the Baron right now. Barring miraculously 360 no scope from Tabs. This one's going down.
Yep. I don't think he's even going to try to take the shot. Down it goes, secured by Audrey. Giants Gaming now.
Approach. If the fight breaks out somehow, if they get caught, they're at least all 5 there, and they're guaranteed to very likely win it, barring a miracle. He's flanking, and he has to. He has to surprise the backline of Elements and get a one come and going. They're going in!
There we go! Whirlib is targeting out Froggen, but the rest of Giants are on to Dexter, and the rest of Elements. Tabs, chunk down, Pepinero going nuts on everybody. Frederick getting some kills for himself. Peppy staying alive. That's a double for Pepinero. Dexter is the last man standing as Peppy finally gets shut down.
Ace for Giants, and how does Pepinero manage to survive so long?
On the flank, he secured a few kills for himself. Greedy approach here from Giants, but it doesn't even matter because there's really nothing Elements has been able to do against them here. Inhib goes down in the middle. They've already... And they wait in the brush, but they're spotted. Down goes the ward. Frederick runs into the gravity field, runs right on through it. Promiscu, as tanky as he's trying to be, he's just not enough. Frederick is gonna flash into the red, gets shut down by Tabs Kog'Maw, but Pepinero, meanwhile, is going nuts again. Tabs goes down, double kill for the Diana. Froggen is gonna get melted. Another triple from Peppy. And
we saw Promiscu, even in Unbreakable, will get pretty much insta-gipped. And once that starts happening, you know your days are numbered if you're an immobile carry like a Kog'Maw, like a Vic.
Got a Fnatic Death Brush here, but will it be enough? Pepinero is gonna check right into it. They will shut him down, but will they be able to follow up? Dexter's getting chunked out now by Audrey, and Godfred is on the hunt, is popped. They're chasing through with the ricochet. Audrey comes up with the pick. Promiscu now focused out. He gets the headbutt, tries to tank the line, but he's not going anywhere as he gets taken down by Werlib. 2 for 1 after the catch.
And the irony in that play, that was the exact same brush Pepinero was hiding in the second game of the spring split where Elements faced off against Giants and he annihilated Froggen. Froggen, he said, I'm going to lose this game, but I want my revenge. I'm going to hide in the exact same brush and kill you, Pepinero. So you learn how it feels. Sadly enough, wasn't enough. Giants pop on the hunt, chase them down, and they're looking to close out this game, Pyra.
Yeah, they are looking to close it out indeed. One Nexus turret going down. JWoww, desperate last charge into the Giant squad, but they don't seem to care. It barely tickles, taking him down. Froggen will fall again. They have lost Werlib as well, but it just doesn't matter. Shutting down Tabs. A triple kill there for Audrey, though. Everything has gone Giants' way this game. They'll finish off the last Nexus turret just to finish the game. All they've got to do is bang on the Nexus, but Dexter and Promiscu are still haranguing in there. Make that just Dexter. He goes back to Fountain. The Nexus is bare, and that is gonna be GG. Giants are 2-1.
Giants take this game pretty convincingly, and let's be honest, a bit to the surprise of many. Elements, they've shown some weaknesses in week 1, but many thought they would at least fix it, or they wouldn't be big enough for Giants to capitalize them, and Giants, they looked even stronger than last weekend. Solid performance, a few itemization issues in the early game, a few optimization possible to close out this game, but overall very strong, very calculated, safe play, and impressive victory by Giants here.
Yeah, and I think they're recognizing a lot more win conditions that they really need to have here instead of just trying to fight crazily. Yes, they did that, and they were able to win, but they also, just like in their game against the Copenhagen Wolves last week, they were able to grab Drakes, they were able to snowball a little bit more and get that done. Over on the Elements camp, though, I feel like they just didn't get off the ground this game.
Yeah, and Elements falling into patterns yet again. Dexter going for that bot lane when they have a scaling AD carry with a defensive peel support like Alistar. Yes, Alistar can engage, but he's fine on his own. Playing as the utility AD carry like the Sivir and then not helping JWoww in his matchup against the tank. If JWoww is playing carry champions, he needs some help because teams will start to recognize this and do this over and over and over again. And you need to always imagine, what is Giants going to do? If you're playing this game, not only do you need to know, what am I going to do? What are my opponents going to do? What is their most likely play? And how much will it impact us if that play works? If that's a lot, then you need to prevent that play or have countermeasures. Either you have JWoww play a little more passive, a little more back, because he was kind of expecting a gank, but not to be that brutal. And then, yes, Dexter showed up, but a little late. And Elements, again, this passive approach, too far back, allowing Giants to get into the game. And this time, they couldn't stop the bleeding.
Yeah, no, it was really just at that point, it turned into a bloodbath all across the board. Giants, I feel like for them though, yes, they had some massive improvements, especially over last split from what we've been seeing. But as you mentioned, still some pattern-based mistakes. Knocking on the front door, 5-man stacked with Baron buff, not fully utilizing what they have in their toolkit. And I don't think it was really limited by their composition. I think it was just decision-making.
Well, their composition facilitated grouping, as we said before. Sivir, you like to group around her with the Maokai. It's pretty straightforward, 5-man group. And I like it because it's simple, straightforward, and it's good if you're not a struggling team. But if you're not on top of the pack, then it's okay to stick to one strategy and try and execute that well, and then branch out. So I like it. I know how hard it is to play 1-3-1 efficiently without losing somebody on the left side, on the right side. Because if you play 1-3-1 and you lose one member, all the pressure falls because you have to go back, build it back up, and it's a multi-step process that takes multiple minutes to set up. But once it comes to fruition, that's when you reap the benefits. And I understand why Giants did it. And but they played relatively safe once they had the lead, and I like that at the same time too. Why give Elements a chance to get back into the game?
Exactly.
Just keep the same thing going. If it, as I said before, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It's very true. Individual performance-wise, you know, everyone across the board on Elements, you know, that we did see a lot of step up. I feel Werlib has gotten a lot more comfortable. We mentioned his performance on the Maokai. Yes, he kind of got very far ahead, had a little bit of help, but it really showed he was able to get rolling. And at the same time, Audrey, he wasn't by any means really a carry in the early stages of the game.
Doesn't have to be.
Towards the end, yeah, he doesn't have to be. He just has to pop on the hunt. They run at them. They're able to pick kills. But he ended the game with a KDA of 20. 0 deaths, 7 kills, 13 assists.
That's why
we talked about him stepping up, but that was pretty big at the end too.
Thank you, Audrey, because I love Sivir, and I think this is actually what she needs to do. Play safe in your lane, have the spell shield to survive. Couple that with Morgana, double spell shield. It's incredibly hard to gank this lane unless you have a very high amount of raw damage output. Pop down on the hunt, snowball your teammates. That are these dive-heavy assassins. And Giants, for the first time, or for one of the few times, they felt like a team to me. It was no longer the Peppy Man show. It was a team of Giants working together towards their goal. Very defined roles. Kind of obvious strategy, but efficient strategy. And I liked it.
Yeah, and also the other side of their bot lane too, Godfrey. You know, we talked about how these 2 new supports were going to do. Well, this is Godfrey's second game on Morgana. It's also a win.
20 KDA as well?
Still, 20 KDA. He had 1 death, 19 assists, an even better performance than they had it versus the Copenhagen Wolves. And I feel the adaptation, you were talking about his item choices, what they were doing, it did feel like for the first time in a while, since we've seen